A while back I wrote a piece on why you shouldn't read anything from the left. I really should follow my own advice sometimes. Because a while ago I was reading from The Nation. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the publication, it is a far-left vomit-inducing rag of a news outlet. And it had this article called "The Democratic Party is no match for a nation on fire." Essentially trying to make the case that the current Democratic Party is far too old to know what the fuck is going on, given that all of the top heads are all over 70, some nearing 90 in fact. I disagree with that though. Just because some of these people are near Biden's age does not mean they're also senile, they're just evil. Never do they mention that all of the problems the world is currently facing is caused by leftist policies, but then again the words personal responsibility does not exist in the leftist lexicon, or if Biden is anything to go by, not in any politicians in general. Now let's be honest for a moment, shall we? One does not need to be politically engaged to objectively see that the world was better. It was more peaceful and more prosperous under a Trump presidency. Now, we are all familiar with the phrase, "never let a good crisis go to waste," I am sure. The phrase now seems to have morphed into manufacture many a fucking crisis and capitalize on the stupidity of the masses and sell it to them as somebody else's fault. Now, the article mentions Joe McCarthy and John Birch as thugs who could completely eviscerate the democracy. Now, if the latter name seems familiar to you but you can't place where, I did a video on its founder some months ago, Robert Welch, on the 10 steps that the elites would employ to destroy America, that he outlined in the late 50s, for heaven's sakes. Many of it you see now: ceding away sovereignty, higher taxes, inflation, expansion of government, indoctrination through public education, etc., etc. The last one in particular is pretty glaring, considering the COOF was responsible for a lot of the increase in homeschooling away from state schooling, away from the authoritarian-like grip of the teachers' union. Oh, but apparently parents teaching their own children is somehow fomenting fascism. What fucking planet do you live on, you deluded lunatic? These are not the utterances of rational actors. It sounds like the demented ramblings of desperate fools losing their grip on power. Same thing with a socialist on The Guardian, Ben Davis, who speaks of religious indoctrination. Piss off, you soy boy gremlin-ass gimp. You fear Christianity because it teaches the word of God and the importance of the family unit, which is a huge obstacle to the socialist hellhole nightmare you wish to push on civilization. This is a battle of ideologies, and these unprincipled swine have no qualms about lying in their desperate lust for power. My apologies if this sounds like a sermon, but I am sick to fucking death of this left and right dichotomy. No. It is either you are for freedom and screw the state, or fuck you. There is no middle ground to this. There's no gray area, no compromise. It is an absolutist position, end of. These are the people that get called fascist thugs. They oppose lockstep the mixing of corporate power with the state. That alone makes one the enemy of fascism, not the ones who would pledge their allegiance to it. Throw in the desire for free speech, the desire to be armed, and giving the middle finger to state overreach. These people are not fascist. In fact, they're the kind of personalities that a fascist regime would think is a threat to the state. Oh wait, that is what the current state thinks of these people right now. So when I read this garbage and I see the word fascist, just fuck off! I'm sick to my fucking ears of reading this utter fucking bullshit! These people are morally, intellectually, and ethically fucking bankrupt. They reside in this iron dome of paranoid hell that is of their own making. These people are just, for lack of a better word, asset casualty fucking imbeciles. And I'm not being hyperbolic. If you were to just read left-wing news, I am quite certain you're destined to succumb to a nervous breakdown and march towards being nihilistically suicidal. The shit they write is so hyperbolic and disconnected from any facet of objective reality. You will think the flamethrower that is currently searing your pubes is also the same thing that will set you free. This is why the left are so miserable and thick, because they've been conditioned through decades of indoctrination to think that the same thing that's killing them will also save them. That is not medicine. It never was. It was always poison regardless of the size of the dose, and yes, that is a claim for anarchy. So here's a radical idea for you. I'm a big advocate of segregation. Yes, I'm sure there will be clipped bollocks to you. I don't care. So how about you get all the jackass leftists, and you just shove them into California, wall the place off, and let them have their little surveillance state. And if they have trouble financing the gig, how about you allow the rest of us access to the footage? You turn the whole place into a show and you get a subscription service model. The rest of us would happily munch the popcorn as your dystopian state descends into complete hell. Hell, we can even use the footage to fashion a documentary called "We Fucking Told You So, The Failure of Leftism." And that is all for today. I will see you all next time.